I've never been a part of a big game like this. James Harden, Kyrie, KD in their home. This is what we do, guys. We're still here, and we're gonna try to win every game.
Could we see you back in a Bucks uniform this year? Hey everyone, welcome back to Milwaukee Uncut. I'm your host, Richie Burke. Very special episode with Thanasis today. We got to talk Bucks basketball. He told some amazing stories from the NBA Finals run and some about his first trip to Milwaukee, which were pretty funny. He talked about his favorite spots in Milwaukee, as well as a lot of the business ventures that he has going on with his brother, Giannis. It was really cool that he dropped by. So if you're a Bucks fan, you're going to love this one. Before we dive in, just a reminder that Milwaukee Uncut is brought to you by Three Sheeps, the beer Wisconsin drinks, our friends at Nicolet Law and Northwestern Mutual downtown Milwaukee. Please subscribe to the show if you enjoy this content, and thank you so much for tuning in. We've got a two-time Greek League champion, an NBA champion, 2018 Greek League All-Star MVP, most spectacular player in the Greek League, host of the rapidly rising Thanasis podcast. Coming off an Achilles injury, we'll hear about that. The fan favorite, number 43, in the studio. Thanks for coming down.
That has to be one of the elite intros I've ever had. First of all, thank you for saying Nicolet. Say that to the NBA Twitter, please. Thank you so much.
We'll tweet it out to him.
Thank you.
I mean, I had an entire 2 hours to prep for this episode.
That's quick. That's fast. That's fast.
Well, Tony hit me up this morning. I mean, it's nice. Had to jump at the opportunity to get a legend in the building, though.
Hey, appreciate you, bro.
And we got Grace Scalzo, our resident basketball expert in the house, who now works for the NBA.
I do. So happy to hear about everything that's going on with you, trying to get you back to the league.
Yeah, I'm trying to, but like I said, I'm being patiently aggressive, and I'm really working on my body, and I'll just miss it out there. A couple of days, I've been in a couple of games, and I just miss it out there, miss seeing the guys, the team, and just Milwaukee,
And what was it like sitting courtside on the other side of that? I feel like that was probably unique.
With Pat Bev.
With Pat Bev. So that was kind of cool because I haven't seen Pat Bev since like the summer, because we kind of talked, and he came to Greece, so stuff like that. So we kind of have a good relationship, me and Pat. But it was good to see him in the building. It was good for me to be in the building. It's just rough. It's hard. It's hard mentally wise to just be out there looking at the team and not being able to, be in the locker room, let's say, per se, or like playing or being in the court, just, heartbreaking for me. But I'm happy because the team is finding their stride, so they're winning. So I'm that's all I can ask for.
How's rehab going?
Good. I can't complain. Obviously I'll give a lot of details even in my show, but I'm doing great, and thank God, because I get to. I'm really, really, I don't want to say religious only, but I'm big on the universe, right? And I'm big into, as much as you give, that's what you get back, right? And I've gave everything I have for like this rehab, and it's, for other people it's career ending, and for me it's like another step on the road. So I'm here for it.
I mean, I've heard from several people that the Bucks could use you. Could we see you back in a Bucks uniform?
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, I don't know if this is time betting or not time. I don't know what I'm allowed to say, but and obviously this is not an NBA podcast per se, but definitely, of course, I want to be out there and playing, and if I could do that with the people who have been doing it for a minute, it would be great. And obviously my brother, not even of course.
Let's talk about the championship run a little bit. You were part of that team in 21.
So many stories. I think it's so many stories from the run, so many stories from in general, like every series was like you could write a book for every series we played. Seriously, not even a joke, and like first round we get to play the Heat that like got us out. Second round the year before that, we get to play them, fight our demons, and we beat them 4-0. Mind you, it was so weird as well, because I don't know if people remember that we played 2 games with no fans, and all of a sudden we go to Florida and there's fans. So we were pissed about that because we played without fans, and then all of a sudden the NBA decided to say, hey, Florida was open, but we wasn't open. for fans.
I didn't remember that.
Yeah. So we play with no fans, and then we go to Miami and it's full house. So it was crazy, and but then we ended up winning, and then we're like, okay, we get to play, Boston, and it's just a different three-headed monster, different beast, man. So it was tough, and then we go with them, and I don't know if people remember this, but play first game, we lose kind of marginal, 5 or 6 points, something like that. We play second game, we lose by a lot, by like 30-something, 20-something, some point, for 30-something, some point. And we come the third game, and we win like 85-83, like just like 1990s basketball, like 90s basketball. So like, and then we go fourth game, beat them again 2-2, and then in our head we're like, oh my God, this is it. We got this, and we go game 5 there. And we're this close. We're up like 12 or 14 or something like that. Halftime, we're like, oh my God, we're going to crush them. And we're going to come back to Milwaukee and finish this. And then, KD goes to, this on this like God mode, OST and kind of like mode and goes crazy, which is insane. And then we lose that game. And then we come back game 6, game 7. But what people don't say about that is historically for us, we believe that game really defined the season and the playoffs, because that was this was the guys to go through. They were supposed to win a championship. They were supposed to be this favorite, and that's what makes it even sweeter. I remember I was going to the locker room and I was telling the guys, and I don't want to say who I was talking to, and I said, guys, if we win, it's going to be a 30 for 30 because this team is elite. They're amazing. If we beat them and we go all the way, they're going to be talking. Like 20 years from now, there's going to be a whole documentary just about us, about our run. And I'm happy. I'm happy we won, and and then the next series, we go to Atlanta. We go down 1-0. And with crazy plays. I think Trae Young is throwing the ball, and the backboard, they're dunking it. This is Inter-Conference Finals. And people are throwing the ball from the backboard and dunking it. So that was crazy. Then Giannis goes down. Then Bobby and Brooke and the guys like step up. And then we don't know if we're going to play with no Giannis in the finals. We're not sure, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden we go. So
it was nuts how fast he came back. I mean, it looked like his leg was just...
You know what's so crazy? You know how demoralizing that is, right? They saw him. They were like, oh, my God. And then, reports came out. And obviously, I don't want to say what the reports were, but the reports were he's out for 2 months.
Yeah.
Minimum. Yeah.
I remember that.
2.5 is done for the season. Next year, blah, blah, blah. But you don't get this opportunity. You never get this opportunity, actually. Now that we see it in hindsight, like going back and how hard it is to get to the finals. But just him coming back, it was demoralizing, And then we go down 2-0. Yeah. Then we go down 2-0. And then, Phoenix is loud. It's the first time in so many years in the finals. They're so like this. They have this aura. I can't explain it. They're playing amazing, right? And then all of a sudden, it's this Chris Paul thing. Like, it's me. I'm here. I'm gonna win finally. And all this. Like I remember, like I would turn on, let's say, not even socials, because I had deactivated socials. I had deactivated YouTube on purpose. Like I didn't want to see nothing, just to run. And I remember I would just turn on the TV just to go to Netflix. But before even getting to Netflix or anything, I would see, oh my God, finally Chris Paul is gonna win. And I'm like, oh my God, this is impossible. And I would turn it off, like, and seeing this, and then all of a sudden we come back and we win the game, and we win the series, and it's unreal.
That gives me chills. You had a unique parade experience, though. You were...
Yeah, on my own, solo. Best experience. The best and the worst at the same time. Best and the worst.
Got your own car?
Yeah, my own ride, everything.
Tell us about it.
No, it's fun. It was just, I was okay. I just didn't want to, even in the NBA, it's all about perception. And you never want to antagonize anybody. You never want to have people saying like, oh yeah, no. I'm just, you know what? I'm not going to let nobody say nothing. I'm going to do my thing. I'm going to be in the parade. I'm going to be with the team. And they want me there. They need me there. And and I get to enjoy it, which I actually, some people said actually I enjoyed it more than other guys.
Were you
actually.
driving your own car?
Yeah, I just drove it. And I had the open seat, everything. The whole, there's a picture that's open, and then I just stood on the car, and the parade was there, and then I had my own. Which people said that because they were cramped with families, and everybody was kind of in the bus and stuff like
You
that.
had your space.
Yeah, I was just
Probably couldn't drink champagne while you had COVID and were driving though.
Yeah, I didn't. Well, first of all, the only thing about like the driving part, the COVID was false positive, so I was cool. I didn't really have no like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't really. It was the time that people were so scared about this and still are. You don't really know what it is, which it could be anything. You would test it one time and it came. Wow, we don't know what it is. Then you gotta sit. So I'm like, okay.
2 quick questions about that Nets series before we move on. I was talking to Tony. He said, "Did you literally buy seats behind?"
Yeah, about the whole section, not section, about the whole behind. You know how like the Clippers have the wall? Yeah, I went and just cleared every ticket at StubHub and gave it to like Greek fans.
How do you? It was you literally logging on to StubHub and buying a section, or how?
So what I did was shout out to James Pristouris. Who is amazing, is one of my like really close friends, and he lives in New York, and I told him, I was like, hey man, I really wanna, this is it, this is the biggest game of my career, and he was like, and then he sat down and we were just talking, and I was telling him like, I've never played a bigger game than this, I've never been a part of a bigger game like this. We get to play James Harden, Kyrie, KD in their home to get a chance to be in the finals. Not the Eastern Conference Finals, and then whatever happens. And I get like I always like reminisce this. And he goes like, you know what? He said like, we want to come out there, we want to support you, but like the tickets are expensive, and it's New York, and of course obviously expensive. It's Brooklyn, and we don't know what to do. And I go like, all right, how many tickets? How many people? He's like, it's gonna be 1,000 or 2,000, 3,000. I'm like, okay. So go online. So mind you can't go to the team. You can't go to anybody because they won't block the tickets. It's playoffs. So you got to really go online. But what happened that actually was the best thing ever. So if a player trying to do it today, he probably can't because every ticket is sold out already because it's the season. But when it's playoffs, you don't know if it's going to be Game 7. Right. You don't know if it's going to be. So I told him it's going to be a Game 7.
In advance.
Yes. And he was like, you sure? And mind you, this is like 2-0. This is not now we're going, that's Game 6 or we're going to 7. It's 2-0. And I tell him it's going to be a Game 7.
You called that.
Yes. Go out there, and when the ticket thing pops, get him. And he gets them. And I remember he was telling me like, oh man, my bank is calling me. They think it's a fraud, of course, because he's trying to buy how many tickets. Well, but it was amazing. It was amazing. We won. And
how many tickets did he buy, and how much was it?
I can't even remember. I remember one thing I remember is that I gave him the money because when we also got our bonus too, I gave him the money. And it was the best thing I've ever done. The best purchase. I didn't even care. He was like, oh my God, so much. I was like, I don't care. There's people who have millions of dollars and this and that, and they've never felt like what it is to win a championship. And I'm grateful that I have 3 family members who've had. And it's crazy. It's a crazy statement, but I'm grateful for that. So
I feel like anybody I talk to in the organization, because I used to work for the Bucks, they all just rave about your energy, like how you carry yourself, even the guys, just everything. I want to know, like, is that just you? Where does that come from? Do you know that's what they need? Like, how do you do that?
What's so crazy? I see that outside the Bucks. Like, I see that with my friends, right? And I see that, like, just because I cannot, it's not something I can just explain and say like, oh, and pinpoint it, oh, this is what I do. Because it's not what it's like I wake up in the morning, that's how I am as a person. I can't change, you know what I mean? But it's a reward and it's a sign of respect, because there's a lot of people who are very talented and people don't want them around. You know what I mean? And it's a lot of people who really are, or you always want people to be like, you know what? Like, I love this guy. And there's nothing bigger, I'm not joking now, right? Into having people around you, people who admire you. Like, man, I want to be like this guy. This guy is, not because of what you wear, but just because of who you are and how you approach life and stuff like that. So it's a great feeling for me.
You've talked about your journey. I watched the movie, everything like that. When you get this first check, though, or like, you know, your life changes. Was there a moment when you're like, wow, like my life just changed, or like, what'd you first buy? I just want like a little summary.
Life change was just by. Want to haircut? So you know you want to know haircut? So I've never bought a car.
Ever?
Nah, I've always every like cars I have or stuff like that. It's always been presents for my brothers or my family. I've never bought I'm not even a joke.
My brother better be listening.
Yeah. No. But
I'm sure you'd get as nice of a car as TA over from your brother. Yeah.
So, I've never bought a car. I've never had this large purchase. Maybe an apartment. Maybe I never. So the crazy part is when a lot of people. So when they first get money and they immediately have to do something, right? Immediately they go to, okay, let me get a car, let me get something nice for myself and stuff like that. For me, I was just happy to be able to eat whatever I want to eat anytime I want to eat, and just be able to do the same for my mother and my brothers. Mind you, now you gotta understand what's my thought process when I say this, and it would make sense. We come, the biggest blessing about us that nobody, not a lot of people say is this: we all play basketball and we are professionals. So we never had the situation that a lot of athletes have coming into the league saying like, I got to take care of home. I got to pay this. I got to entourage. I got to take care of my family. It's a lot of things. It's a thing. You come to the league and that's what athletes say. But I've been blessed enough to, none of my brothers need anything, but I want to give them everything, So that's a blessing in disguise. And I've never had something that I had to buy.
That's amazing.
I had to buy like.
Were you the first though?
In the NBA?
Yeah.
I got drafted 2014. Giannis got drafted 2013.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
And then when he got drafted, he went with the Bucks. But I'm the first who ever got drafted, which is crazy story. I've told you this, Tony. I'm the first guy, me and PJ Hurston, the first guys who ever got drafted from the D League at the time, it was called. Yeah, ever got drafted to the NBA. Because at the time, it wasn't a thing like now. Now how they have like what's the team they have in Reno? What's that? The Ignite.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, now it's a thing that there wasn't a thing then. So.
Can you talk about when you were playing and Giannis got drafted up here and you wanted to come visit him and you ended up at some bar in South Milwaukee?
So okay. So I remember this. Giannis get drafted. Then I'm like, hey, I'm gonna put my name in the G League, get drafted first round in the G League, and I go to Philly, the 87ers at the time. I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm starting to learn the US. I don't even have a phone. I literally have a
Flip phone?
Yeah, but a normal phone. Like, no, it's not a smartphone at the time. It wasn't like this common.
A flip phone?
Yeah, but it was AT&T. I can't remember what it was. It was just like a normal phone.
Bricks.
Yeah, and I remember they gave us an off day. Coach Baker gave us an off day, and he was like, "Hey, you have like 20-something hours." He said, "No, 36 hours." And I'm like, oh, "Hey, you think I could leave after the game so I can make it 48? Like leave after the game?" He's like, "Yeah, you can leave, but you're gonna have to catch like a red app. Like, where you going?" I was like, "I want to go to Milwaukee and visit my brother." He was like, "Okay, you think? Are you sure?" Because they were worried about me, not because they wanted to keep tabs on me. I'm very professional, so I was like this, like like a machine. I never like deviate or anything like that. But they were worried about me because I didn't know. I'm not from here, so in their heads they're like, "All right, we got to keep an eye on this kid because he might end up in
a bar."
Yeah, Tallahassee somewhere. He might end up in no, seriously, he might end up in somewhere else and not like where he's supposed to go."
Was your English good at the time? Like, could you read and everything?
My
English
is way better now. Yeah. Better. At the time, I could read, but I had. But it wasn't.
You were new to the country.
Yeah, and I had a problem with accents. So I could if a guy came from New York or a guy came from Chicago or a guy came from Houston, and then I had like this. Okay, I really understand what he's saying, but then I could, and then I remember I got in Milwaukee. Mind you, my brother is not there, so he told me he left the keys for me because they're on a road trip. But I told him I'm going to be there. I'm going to see you. I want to surprise you. He's like, okay, I have the keys in the front desk. I'm at the airport. I rent a car. By the way, I rent a car. I'm like, hey, can I get this car? Yep, I get it. Then I get in the car, and mind you, then my phone was you had to download. They had this app. They had the GPS, but the GPS was like AT&T GPS. It wasn't, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't Google. It wasn't. So I'm trying to type in the address. I'm typing in the address. I see it for a little bit, and then once I'm getting there, my phone dies. So when my phone dies, I don't have no charge. I don't barely nothing. I'm just, going there.
You don't know your brother's number.
No, but no, of course I don't. I don't even know my number. Of course, I'm not familiar. I barely get out the house. So this what got me. So I get in the straight line. I get to the lake, St. Francis, up there. And instead of making a right, I make a left. And I'm going to find them. I'm like, oh, this is familiar. This looks familiar. But it was behind me, the house. And I keep going away and away from it. So after, 14 minutes somewhere, I ended up in a bar. But don't understand. Have you ever seen movies? Have you watched the show Supernatural?
No. But
I have.
You have?
Yeah.
Grace has.
So it's a scene like that I end up, and it's night. I hope I just park the car somewhere. I put the keys in my pocket. So I'm walking, and I open. It was like 4 people in the bar. I was like, hey, I'm so sorry. I don't want to. I was apologizing. I was like, yeah. He's like, why are you sorry? Like, relax. I was like, yeah, I'm so sorry. Could you please tell me where to go to St. Francis? I'm looking for this and this. Oh no, you came the wrong way. You in Sharwood. Like, no, you got somewhere, something. So I took the car again and started, going all the way back. And then, I was looking at the signs. I ended up finding it. But I landed at like 10:30. Got at the house, came in the house around 1. Like, we're talking about like a 10-minute distance. I did like
at Giannis's place?
Yeah.
Is this when he was living at the North End, or where was... Yeah?
Not North End. No, North End is here.
Yeah.
St. Francis. St.
Oh,
Francis.
so
We
you had to backtrack all the way.
Were
you anxious at all? Or not really? Just being like in a completely foreign country, in a different city, lost with no phone.
So, no, I wasn't. And you know why? I think because the only thing I could think about is like, I just need to get in. I just need to see him, because I knew how lonely he was and how that was really, really important to me. So I was like, I can't be out here just second guessing and, deviating. Like, I just really got to focus and get there.
Nice.
You're determined. You did it.
Yeah, that's true. Now in hindsight, I don't know. Maybe the world has changed and a lot of social media and people just really trying to scare people through social media and stuff like that. But back then it wasn't like that. Back then you just, maybe it's just me, I don't know. 2013 is like almost 11 years ago.
Yeah. Let's dive into some fan-submitted questions. Yeah. Leo was wondering, what's your favorite place to take people who are visiting Milwaukee?
3 places. One, Avili. I take them to the restaurant. They eat great food, and especially people who are from Greece come here. Second place is the facility. Like, people love going to the facility. That would be like, I would love to see what you guys, see what the magic happens, where we work out every day and what we do. I think. And third place now is the Did District, but before that, before the Did District, I would say the museum.
Any other restaurants or bars you like in Milwaukee that you usually go to?
I'm telling you, I don't know. I have no clue. It's crazy.
Okay, but
I learned from you guys.
You know what you do know though is your store, Antetokounmpo. So what's your favorite item in there? What should people go get? Obviously all of it.
Shout out to Nemo. I was in there earlier this week.
So now from next week, spoiler, we're gonna have shoes. You gotta go get your shoes there. So anything you want with Nike, Giannis, Freaks, anything you want.
I can get a discount?
Yeah, of course. Of course. If you're a member with Uncut, you can get a discount.
You heard it here.
Yes.
And I got a little hoodie in there last week. 2 big brothers, big sisters. Got my 6-year-old. They got some good kids stuff in there too.
A lot of kids stuff. We're gonna have a lot of kids shoes that people are saying they're not a lot of them in the stores or online. So there's gonna be a lot of them there. And then the week after that, we're gonna have immortalities as well. Like, people are just, it's sold out actually everywhere. But we're gonna try to always have them stocked for you guys and be able to get it, stuff like that.
Yeah, you guys got a lot going on. You got Avli, the Antetokounmpos. Just came out that Giannis launched a VC firm. Are you involved in that?
Of course. I just don't say. I'm the behind the scenes guy.
Silent investor.
I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'm okay with being behind the scenes
That's
guy.
nice. That's nice. You don't want to steal the spotlight from your
No,
brother.
it's not.
He doesn't get it enough.
First of all, my brother still the spotlight from my brother. My brother is like a beacon. I can't. No. What? No. But what I want to say is that I've always been like that. Like the only reason, even now with the Bucks, the only reason people say that is because people have lived that and they see it. You know how many times they've asked me for an interview and it's like, oh, we got to talk about behind the scenes and what you're doing and this, that. And I always say no. And the reason I say no is because true power always stays hidden. I won't say, why would I come out and say, you know what, this is what I do and this is what I get that. It's credit and people will value you more and people will respect you more and etc. But at the same time, what's more important? You being reliable when people turn to you at every chance, they be like, oh no, TA, we need you to do this, or being out there saying like, oh yeah, I'm this guy who made this happen and made that happen and made this happen. And you see it all the time. And then they would try to sneak peek. They'll be like, oh, GMTA, or they'll be like, oh, TA this, or like, and I would be like, no, don't, because there's nothing for me in this. There's nothing you can tell me that's going to make me feel better than being a great big brother. There's nothing. You can't, you know what I mean? Being a great friend, being somebody, because the other thing people don't talk about enough, they'll say all the traits like, oh, you got to have friends that inspire you and want you to get better. No, the biggest trait is you want to have friends that are dependable, that you can depend on them. You know them, you have them in your corner. Like, you know what? Like you have a peace of mind, like, okay, I got some people in my corner. Like if something goes wrong, I know somebody who literally could do anything, like he knows what to do. So for me, that's the biggest, and obviously going back to the VC firm and stuff like that we've done with business, we've always tried to encourage people to invest, encourage other athletes to invest, and we're open. We have another part of the business called BOIL Group, Bridgeo Legacy Group, and obviously now it's only people who you got to apply now to come in and stuff like that, but it's the stuff we invest in and how we see the future through sports. Through distribution, through anything that we do. So for me, I'm just glad that we've done it for the past 6-7 years, and not what other athletes have done in the past, which is they wait till they're done, and then they started figuring out the next phase of their career or whatever that is, maybe.
Besides Greece, what's your favorite vacation spot?
Apart from Summerfest.
Summerfest in Milwaukee?
Yes, bro. Everybody. First of all, tell me an artist you haven't seen in Summerfest.
Bree loves going to Summerfest with me.
I mean, Drake has ever been to Summerfest?
Welcome, Tony, to Milwaukee. Uncut debut.
Yeah, wedding number 10.
What's going on? Who number 10?
Yeah, for Good Karma Brands. Tony C. I've seen all the biggest artists in Summerfest. I remember one of the years I was here, Future was here, and it was mayhem.
It was Big Sean, Future, and Migos, like 4 years ago, probably, right before the pandemic.
It was tough. I was like,
do you like going to EDM concerts there or no? Bree took me to one of those last year. I thought I was going to die.
When you say EDM, I'm assuming house music.
Yeah,
no?
basically,
Correct?
yeah. House.
So we come from a country that Mykonos and Paros and the islands only play house music and just like, and this vibes, of course. But I've never been in a party here. Maybe back home.
That amphitheater for an EDM concert, they don't fuck around with that place. I walked out of the concert after 15 minutes. I had to go on the pavilion, drink some water. I had a good pregame beforehand. I had to go back out there. Bree wanted to go. I thought I was mentally prepared, and then I had to come back in with some earplugs and grind it out for the last half hours.
Earplugs at a concert?
Yeah, put those in, Tony. For Odessa at Summerfest.
You want to hear the story?
There you go.
So, and then I'll say the story. Obviously, and we can end the pod, then the podcast and the show, and we
don't have to end it 2 minutes after Tony came on. We can at least give him 5
That's generally
or something.
a good time. You get a little bit, then we're good.
Yeah. So I'll tell you this story. So when I was in New York, I went to a place. In the place, everybody was wearing headphones, right? So I walk into the place. It's everybody's dancing, etc. No music. Can't hear nothing. It's like 600 people in. No music. Everybody's wearing headphones, correct? And everybody's wearing headphones that have lights, and one of them is green, one of them is red. So I'm like, what is this?
I've seen these.
So confused, right? I'm like, what is this? So I'm walking. Somebody stops me. It's like, hey, do you wanna? They're having an event, and it's an event. It's a party, blah blah blah. Like, you wanna join? You wanna listen to some music? I'm like, sure, but there's no music playing. He's like, no, here you go. So he gives him the headphones, and he goes, if you want house music, you click here. If you want to listen to like rap music, trap music, you go here. And I was like, I was shocked because why? Because you could tell, because I could tell by the way people were dancing to what they were listening to.
I think they call those. I saw those one time. They did it in Madison, and it was at Bree Stevens Field, so it's this big football field.
Oh, that's a great venue. That's a cool
And it was part of an event, and they had that, and they called it like silent disco, and everyone just had different music in their headphones. But like, if you're just walking around on the street and you see this happening, you're
super
like,
weird. I walked in,
and
I didn't know what to expect. I'm like, oh, it's literally, I think it was like, 10 p.m., 10:30 p.m. I'm like, I'm just gonna sit for an hour, just go out,
New York's a different place, man.
Bro,
New York is just a different place.
But it wasn't the city of New York. This was in White Plains somewhere.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, yeah, it's not even New York. Like, it was a little bit like further. Not New York, I mean downtown.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, what's going on? Nobody's saying anything. But dancing now, not just listening to music and vibing, dancing.
Couple more questions, then we'll wrap this up. Who's your favorite teammate of all time that is not one of your brothers?
That's one. No, I have them. I have a lot of them.
You got a few?
I got to pick one,
or two or three.
Just list all of your current ESPN Milwaukee Good Karma Brands teammates. I make the top of the list. Everyone else,
let me give you 10 people. Let me give you 10 because 10 it's so you got to consider one thing. I've been playing for 12 years, bro. Like, I've been, you know what I'm saying? I'm not just this never is.
I like 10. Let's go with 10.
And I'm playing different countries and different places. So if I could pick from any team, I would say favorite teammates, obviously, when I was in Panathinaikos, Keith Langford, one of my favorite teammates, James Gist, Stefan Lasman, Nicolet, like, those guys are like my squad there that we had a run. Then I come here, obviously, it's the guys, bro. First of all, I want to exclude the Bucks, because with the Bucks, of course, this is one of my best teammates because we've been together half a decade plus together. We're like a college team. We've been together, me, Pat, Brooke, Jan, Robin, Chris, Midland. Like, we've been together forever. So, of course, them. So I got to exclude them and just talk about teams.
This is the most politically correct answer of all time. You can keep going. You got 6 slots left.
6 slots left.
Who do these all have to
Campaign, Pat Bev.
That was a Buck.
I was a Buck, yeah. Those two, sure. Then I gotta pick one more.
Any good Pat Bev stories from the Bucks?
From the Bucks, millions. He would give millions, but I gotta
give me one. Give me one.
I'll try to give you one, but I gotta keep all of them for his podcast. Okay, so I'll give you the best one.
You're welcome to take this content and
tag
Milwaukee Uncut on it.
Do you remember the Pat Bev lookalike at the live show we did at Potawatomi?
Did you think someone was Pat Bev
No.
and go up and dap him up or something?
Stephen A. Smith did.
I
He
did.
called him Pat Bev from the stage and pointed at him, and it wasn't. The guy was 5'9".
And he wasn't fucking with him?
No, he was
No. So I'll tell you exactly what happened. The lights were dark, and we're on the stage, and it's me, Jan, Stephen A. Smith on the stage, and he's saying hi to the guys. What's up, Bobby? Bobby was there. What's up, Brooke? Guys, what up? He said, what up, Pat? Like, Pat Bev. So in my head, I'm like, I'm like, oh, that's Pat. Because I'm not paying attention to the ground. I'm paying attention to Yanni, and Stephen A. Smith. And then I look, then I double check. I'm like, that's not Pat Bev. That's Kenny.
But he had the full beard. And
That's not Pastor Kenny.
Yeah, and he had the hat.
Yeah,
he was the team pastor, so he had the bucket hat on low.
Yeah, he looked. No, he did that on purpose. You know, Kenny did that on purpose. You know, he liked to just like what was there?
But he was backstage, and people were like, "Oh, is that Pat Bev? Is that Pat Bev?" And one of our like execs, their son was at the game the night before, and I think he either looked at you or me. He was just like, "Unless Pat Bev grew a full beard in one night, that's not him."
It's crazy. I think his story. I don't. First of all, I have so many, but I don't think they're. I don't think that. Even though I know it's called Milwaukee Uncut.
You're welcome back. Bones was wondering, have you ever considered playing in the NFL?
You know what's so crazy? I've been asked this same question for the past like 2-3 months now.
Just the past 2 or 3 months?
I'll tell you why. Because I was hurt, and then I started like place I would work out and do my rehab. And they were like, "Oh my God, you never thought about playing football?" And I actually got bigger too. Like I was weighing like 220. Now I'm weighing like 235 now, 240. Like, and guys would be like, "You never thought about playing football?" And then I thought about it. I was like, if I grew up here, I probably would. If I grew up here, but you know, basketball is basketball.
If you grew up here, you would be a D end or a tight end. You would dominate.
Oh yeah.
But I like safety too, because I like people. I'm like,
he's the tallest safety of all time. But you actually have the speed to close, so he could play in the NFL.
All right, we got just a question from two-time State Open golf champ who played at Vanderbilt. This is a Vandy question. I don't know if you know the answer. He says, "Does Liam Roberts have the best mullet in the NBA?"
Is Liam a guy? Liam's a guy, right?
Yeah, 15.
Probably.
Do you know who Liam is?
Yes. No, I'm saying I know, but first of all, the guy just came to the team.
Yeah, he's new.
I'm saying
he is new.
When you said mullet, it took me a little bit because I'm not from here, so I had to kind of process like, okay, mullet. He talk about his hair. He talk about his hair.
That Tony and I can't grow, but it would go back here.
Is he the only mullet in the NBA?
Yes,
he might be. I feel like there's many of those laying around.
You know who had one? You know who had one? A guy who played with OKC.
Oh yeah. Shit.
You know what I'm saying?
Rick Smits might have the best mullet
of all
time.
It is the best mullet in the NBA.
All right, TA, final question. What is your favorite career moment?
Favorite career moment?
Let's do top 10.
I've had so many of them.
Top 10, but none of the Bucks.
It's winning championship with the Bucks, man. It's a favorite moment. Yeah, like just like being a part of this group. That's it's our names are etched in eternity with like in the state and in the NBA and history of the NBA. This is the thing that people won't understand. They are people who are like this tier, right? Have never won a championship and finished the career with every feeling touching this trophy won by them, their team or whoever. I'm not talking about, sometimes I'm not saying just like winning a championship because you're the main star. Just being a part of a great organization. They haven't even been a part of a great run, So I'm happy and I'm grateful for this. And if we're worthy, hopefully next year's of our career we get one more. But I've won championships overseas, one championship here, so I think that's one, of course. But then I have other ones with national team stuff like that. Then we've had accolades as well.
Any closing message to the Bucks fans or the city of Milwaukee?
Bring it. Come to the games. As the energy has shifted. It's a different vibe. It's a different energy. You guys have been amazing, and I think one of the things we people don't know about our team and people don't know about you guys is that this is what we do, guys. We do not complain. We just put our hands down and we go to work. Everybody can say whatever they want to say. We're still here and we're gonna try to win every game. You know what I'm saying? So don't worry about anything else. Just the most important thing is that you guys support each other and support the team as you've always done, because this is our team. It's your team.